Diamonds test, are we live? Let's just check.
Are you allowed?
We are. There isn't actually a way to make the stream hear you unless I join the comms booth on my phone and play the phone close to the mic. That's the only way you'll be heard.
No, I can hear myself on stream. Or was that you just holding it very close to the mic?
It's just me holding my phone really close to the mic. That's the only way you're heard right now. Because PS4 can't connect to Discord.
Can you not join comms booth through your console?
I can't, because I can't access Discord on my console. Unless you're on PS4, which I don't think you are. I mean...
No, I'm an Xbox. Does it not just say, like, link Discord account?
Nope, no option to link Discord.
It's not ideal.
You can listen to your voice on the stream if you can, because it's not very good. The audio quality.
Have you got like a contraption? Well, either you figure out how to join Discord on your console, or you make a contraption so that your phone is very close to the mic. Or you just do comms and I don't. Or I try and figure out again how to link the thing up. So I don't know.
The only way it's gonna work is if you're hosting by Xbox and I'm co, because on PS4 specifically. I think PS5 can connect to Discord, but PS4 can't. So.
Let me try and look up this stuff now. So link your Twitch account. I'm scanning the QR code. I'm going on my link now. I'm typing in the code box.
Welcome in, new viewers. As sorting out a couple technical difficulties with getting KJ in as a co without it echoing so much. Hey, don't say it on the stream. Fucking hell. I think I might have to end the stream and delete this VOD now. Oh. Do you see it now?
See what?
One moment, I have to turn off.
Okay, well, I'm lost then.
Yes, fine. I think for this race I'll have to solo it. Okay, it's just gonna be me for the moment. Now we can go through this. It seems every time I commentate, the views just drop massively. I think there's a sign there that I can't comms. Anyway, got Robot hosting the lobby, NSO Burt leading the championship with K5 and Hot Pursuit behind. He won in Portimao, but other than that, I think he's been on and off this season. Tiger, he's been doing decently. Lee Bob has been up and down with form. Flov, he had a dream race in Austria with backing up Mars for wins and stuff, but then DNF'd a lot. Barbado's been solid over the season. Rice has been there sometimes. Same with Lucky Lemon, Jribe, Comic, and Quantai on you. Very interesting chat we have. Very interesting chat. I think we have fans of Quantai in chat. We'll be getting underway shortly. We're about to get underway shortly, hopefully. Why are the numbers so low when more people checked in anyway? This is Giant L. Okay, let's get this thing going now. HDR, round 9 in Qatar. We should be getting the message for everyone to ready up. Look, okay, we're readying up for the start of short qualifying. Nice. Looking forward to this one. Savit seems to be an interesting character. I think that's the source of whatever's happening in chat. Thirteen drivers competing here. Oh, that... Okay, who's that on the account? Is that KJ? I'm assuming. It's probably KJ. Or maybe it's Emu before he goes out. It's someone in the chat on the HDR account. Certainly someone. People are already going out early. Drive the AI unsafe releases into the McLaren. funny. Flov is also out of the pit lane now. Who else? K5 as well. That's 4 cars now because I saw someone else also coming out of the pit lane, but still in. But now there's a Ferrari and a McLaren, and everyone seems to want to get in their runs as early as they can. It's not full quali, unfortunately. Not enough numbers for that, because in that case the Q1 would have been useless with these numbers. Looking around to see if anyone has started a lap. Robot reaction's already out. Are we getting a restart already? Lobby's bugged out. What happened? Oh my god, he did the bleeping lobby in cockpit only somehow. How has that even happened? Stand by, bit of a delay. Everyone leaving session now. How do you even make that error? Anyway, luckily there is a system in place to cover that now. Unfortunate to see. That may have been your fault. No comment. At least not something I can say on the stream. Stein, you'll get to race tomorrow. You got Division 1 Qatar. There was also CBRL today with 7 drivers if you wanted. I don't know a lot of men that can... Okay. Thabit's a little bit unhinged. That's my conclusion from this. We're waiting on a new lobby now. Thankfully, we shouldn't be waiting too long now. In the lobby first, that's good. Echo. Scary music as well, so they're asking you to host. Okay, but I can't though. Everyone's filing their way back into the lobby. commentator, your volume is very low. Can you amp it up? Yes, I can. Is that any better in terms of volume? There. And it also involves talking a bit louder, because otherwise the game volume for me on my headset will just be too loud. Stream views are getting back to views that Emu and KJ can get. You can call him AMG, not commentator. It says KJ. I've been given worse. I got a nickname, probably the worst nickname in history, of Mr. Commentator, because I comms like a racing series involving multiple leagues competing against each other, so anything is fine after Mr. Commentator. Well, you have a lovely voice, Chris Barrett. Thanks. Gradually getting the people back into the lobby, already back up to 12, 13, basically everyone who was in the lobby beforehand. No pressure, but you gotta win AMG tomorrow to stay in the fight. Ah yes, no pressure, but it's a championship battle. I didn't come into the season planning for that, somehow ended up in one. But okay, I'll give it my best shot, I guess. I don't expect to be on the pace, but it works, I guess. Oh, Robot needs to put out the announcement about one-shot qualifying. Am I gonna have to do that? Might do. Yeah, it's one shot. I put out an announcement about what would happen if, like, there needed to be a restart. It was from an announcement like a week ago. No one reads them anyway, but yeah. I think might post a screenshot of that. Everyone who was in before, now in. Robot needs to pick a team. And then who needs an invite? Not much going on at the moment, not much there to talk about. Yeah, we'll mix the grid up a lot. It'll be interesting to see. Let's see what seats of space. There's space in Ferrari, Alpine, Haas, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, both Williams gone. There's a couple spots around the grid for anyone who ends up joining. It is tense. It's just the wait for the start. A couple things just saw in the Division 2 chat regarding setting up the lobby and getting the drivers in. Well, hopefully, Big Bird or K5. I think the winner will be Comet. I think Comet's got the pace for this. Savit's like an off-brand Tom with how old he's being. I don't even know. Luckily the drivers won't have forced cockpit view. And we're getting underway. We're finally getting started. Great news. Good luck to the drivers. We are racing now. We can see K5 holding the lobby hostage for a few moments, and now we are clear to go. Hopefully Robot's not done the same thing again. And back to short quali, because no one likes full one shot. No one's going out yet. Ooh, someone's out. Drive in the AlphaTauri is our first driver to go out on track. We'll watch this with great interest. Let's see how he does. You can see a lot of the field following out. Quantai electing to stay in the pit lane for now. Drive now will focus on warming his tyres up to their optimal working window. What's all the hype around Quantai? Just some strange people. I think that's all there is to it. Drive on his outlap. Currently not doing any of the proper tyre warming techniques. The best way in this game is to brake and accelerate at the same time, because then that saves you the wear of not weaving, whilst also getting temperature from the brake ducts to the tyres. Seems like he's going flat out. He'll get a little bit of wear starting his lap, which will cost him a little bit of time. And now Quantai sets off for the first hot lap of the session. Yellow flags being flown for either Comic or Flov. Those have been cleared quickly. And now we have going down towards turn 1. 5th gear for Drive. Gets it close to the apex. Sweeping round now down towards turn 2. It's a very fast corner which he also successfully handles. He'll get a small slipstream from the Alpine up ahead of him. And I believe that Alpine will be Rice B. Let's hope he stays out of the way. He doesn't, and he impedes him. Drive's lap is now screwed, and he has wing damage, and Rice has held him up. Who else is there now on Flyers? Barbado is coming towards turn 4. Let's see if there'll be anyone here this time. There won't be. He has clear track ahead of him. Slowest corner on the track, this 3rd gear hairpin. K5 had to restart his game, so I need an invite, and there's 6 friends watching the stream. So the stream views are worse than ever, it seems, if it's them new viewers. And still down on views. And Barbado has invalidated. Comics now going towards sector 3. He's got multiple flat out corners to go through now. This one's fully flat out, and this was also full speed. Robot Reaction gets the first time on the board, which is beaten by a second by Flov. Couple more laps coming in as Comics finishing up his attempt through the final corner of the lap. Can he get himself up on that leaderboard into the top 2 or pole position? Let's see. And he does. He gets him close. He's within a tenth of Flov. He's in the ballpark of where he needs to be. Quantai is finishing his lap soon. Lee Bob is also. Aston Martin crossing the line. Lucky Lemon. He's making Robot Reaction's time look very, very mediocre. There's a Mercedes crossing the line of Tiger, and he's slower than Robot. Quantai is coming up to the line now. His 6 runs will watch on in excitement as he goes. P5. Not bad for a first attempt. And K5 has left the session, so that's my cue to invite him. How quickly can we do this? Where is he? Where is he? I don't see him. I don't even think I have him added. Yikes. Don't see K5 anywhere. Am I missing something, or is he just not there? Okay. I don't see him. In that case, it'll be a struggle to invite. Emu's on his lap at the moment. No, he's not. Lucky Lemon's into the pit lane. Quantai will also be into the pit lane. Oh, there's an Alfa Romeo behind him. He might get held up if he's on a flyer. Lee Bob is not on a flyer. They're both on in laps, and into the pit lane they go. And after the first runs, it is Flov on pole with Comic alongside him on the front row. It's a McLaren 1-2, followed by the Ferrari of Emu, the Aston Martins of Lucky Lemon and Robot Reaction making a sandwich of Quantai, then Lee Bob, Tiger, Zribe. K5 not set a lap yet, neither is Barbado, neither has Rice. NSO Burt is on his lap at the moment, and so far looking good, the championship leader. What can he do now through Sector 3? The first two sectors not too bad. K5's back in the session. Didn't even need the invite from me, at least. And now, will he take this flat? He goes for the minor lift off, but other than that, Burt is carrying a lot of speed through this. And now into the final corner of the lap. What's he going to do? Where does this lap take him? P4. Very long run to the line, that. And Burt is within the ballpark of where he needs to be, within 2/10 of that pole position. Not quite there though. Schreiber's on his out lap. Barbado is on his second hot lap already, so he's going out early each time through the slower speed hairpins of turn 7, turn 8, and now out towards flicking left of turn 9, flat through turn 10, and turn 11 now, a long sweeping corner that keeps extending itself until you make it out of it and into Sector 3, where you now have 3 right-handers that are all flat out. Barbado looking good through Sector 2. He's purple through the middle sector of the lap, and he's flat through all 3 corners. He carries less speed than Burt did through turn the penultimate corner. Now he's got the final corner of the lap and a very long run to the line, as he's getting a lovely slipstream from an Aston Martin up ahead that's starting his lap. Barbado is now going to go P5 behind Burt. Maybe he lost time to him through the penultimate corner of the lap. Emu is on his out lap. There's an Aston ahead of him, furiously weaving for temperature. Emu is weaving his way through the traffic as well, looking to just get on with it, get through with it as fast as he can. What's there going on now? Lucky Lemon furious weaving, still continuing at it. Robots on a hot lap, starting Sector 3. Is there anyone else ahead of him on the track? There is Rice, who's I think finishing his first hot lap of the day. What's he going to do now from the back of the field? Plants himself up into 11th and last. Not a good lap from him. Schreiber gets a lap in and is P8 at the moment. K5 still unable to set a time. Unfortunate luck for K5. Comic. He's got 80% ERS left, and he's not using any of it right now. So he's taking a very fast lap actually, coming into the pit lane. Emu is on an in-lap or another prep lap. I can't tell, his battery usage is confusing. Lucky Lemon coming into the first corner now, starting his hot lap. Goes fairly wide on the curb, and turn 2 also looks smooth for him, using as much of the exit as he can through the flat out turn 3, which Formula 1 cars these days don't have to worry about at all. Turn 4 he takes in 6th gear. He has to ready himself because there's another turn 5 right there. It's a double corner you have to go through. High speed commitment that. Negotiates the hairpin very nicely indeed, and now it's a short run up towards this long hairpin of turn 7. Now plunging back down the hill towards the flat out triple right-hander that awaits you in sector 3. Looks all smooth through 11, and now you're shifting left, going up the gears and flat out through 1, 2 and 3 apices. There's a 4th one. Oh, he didn't make it to that. He's invalid. Tiger's down on his delta significantly. Quantai is on a lap. Finished sector 1, and he's in the middle part of the lap through this flat out corner. And now it gets all slow through there. Wide on the exit. Almost too wide, but he's just about kept it within the track limits. And now it's the 3 apices once more for Quantai. He's done it once. Can he do it better this time? It looks a lot better than his first attempt. And he takes very low speed through the penultimate corner, though, of turn 15. So I'm wondering if he's not going to improve that much, because Burt and Barbado carried way more speed in 6th gear, whereas Quantai had to brake, go down into 5th. Quantai's coming up to the line now. How much of an improvement is he finding? He improves by 0.2, but doesn't gain him many places. It's disappointing. He's got 1 run left. And NSO Burt is absolutely flying. He's 3.5 tenths up after 2 sectors of the lap. Now through the penultimate corner, which he did very well last time. Does it even better this time. Doesn't even need to brake. It's just a lift of the throttle. Downshift to 6th and straight back on the power. Out the final corner now. NSO Burt is looking good to take pole position. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. By 0.2 of a second, NSO Burt pops himself to pole position ahead of Flov. Flov is challenging right now as we speak. He's improved by 0.03 in sector 1, but he needs to find more time through the second and third part of the lap to beat NSO Burt's time. After that, it's a tight turnaround to get back to the pit lane, pop some new fresh soft tyres on, and go out for your final flying lap. We'll ride on board with Flov for this one and see how he takes these corners. Full flat out commitment. He's actually not improving on this lap, so he might be into the pits at the end. He couldn't take that flat out, and it's not looking good. He's not pushing through the corners as much as he needs to, and he's coming in. He's backing out of that lap. Barbado is improving by a tenth and still finds himself where he was before. Stripe's now got turn 4 and turn 5, the double right. He takes the second part of it very slowly and steadily, but he's improved by 1.5. He's not even going to get himself ahead of Robot Reaction at this point, so he needs a stonking middle sector to gain any time from this lap. And it looks like he's not pushing to the limits of the track fully. He's taking it very calmly and cautiously to make sure he doesn't invalidate. It's not the best way to go around the track, truth be told. You need to be flat out pushing in qualifying. He is flat out now through sector 2 as he goes purple, and he's now 0.3 up on his delta. Had to lift through 14 and 15. He's gone for only a lift. But he's going to lose a bit of time on the exit because he didn't downshift to 6th gear, which compromises his traction. And out of the final corner now, gets a slight bit of oversteer as he negotiates his way onto the throttle, and he is going to improve not at all. 3/10 improvement, but not enough. Robot pitting. Lucky Lemon is... Oh! Invalid! Now he has he's forced into a prep lap. But can he give his teammate... No, his teammate's pitting. No slipstreams there. Tiger 66 Gamer. Starting the hot lap now. There's a car coming out of the pit lane that has to keep out of the way for him. He uses the entry and exit beautifully, does Tiger. Carries a lot of speed through the first and second corner of the lap, and now gets a lovely slipstream from the McLaren on his out lap, who then moves out of the way for him. So that's worked out perfectly in his favour. He's looked decent through sector 1, and he finds himself a 10th up on his previous best. That, at this point, it will get him ahead of Lucky Lemon, and potentially with a good sector 2 and 3 could get him towards Emu's time. Comic would be a bold stretch to go for. Tiger is still pressing at it now, out of 11 and towards 12, which is full speed, but not in 8th gear usually, and not with a lift either. He's really struggling through sector 3, which is why his time is down in 7th. Looks like that's where his time loss is. It is unfortunately half points. My perpetual reminder that it's getting removed next season. Tiger's coming up to the line now. What's this lap going to do for his time and position? Only ahead of Lucky Lemon, and that's his final lap of the session done. Emu's finding 400ths after 2 sectors, and he's just got sector 3 now of 3 flat out corners and 2 high-speed corners. 2 and a bit tenths up. That could get him towards pole position if he has a strong final sector, and it looks like he's doing just that. Down towards 6th gear, needs to make sure he doesn't get blocked by Rise. Rise stays out of the way, and now it's a quick flick through the final corner and up the gears, up the power, up the throttle. Where is Emu going to put himself on that leaderboard? P4, 2. P2, onto the front row goes Emu, and that's his final flying lap of the session, unless... no, he's not going for another one. Flov finds himself 3 and a bit tenths up. Flov could be a contender for pole position if he nails these final 2 corners. Looks good from that angle. Looks like he got that done very nicely and clinically. Not using the entry. Doesn't get it quite to the apex, so he might have lost a bit of time through the final corner. He still might be good enough to take pole position. It's going to be a lap for the McLaren to go pole! Flov sets a 121.184 to put himself ahead of Burt. And he's got that provisional pole. Can Comic take it off him though? He's coming up to the line and goes to the front row with a purple sector 3. It's a McLaren 1-2. And Burt might be defenseless to that time, because he's only improving by 200ths of a second. That's not enough to currently beat the 2 McLarens. Now he's found a bit more time through sector 2. He's almost 2 tenths up, and if he keeps the delta like this, then I think he has pole position secured. Burt's got 2 more corners left to go now. What's this lap going to do for him? He's got the final corner now. Comics in chat saying no, hoping that Burt doesn't take pole. Burt's now just got the run to the line. He's done the hard bit. It's just about straight line speed. Can he take pole position? He can't improve on his time. He had a bad sector 3, and NSO Burt has to settle for 3rd. Flov takes pole position. Quantai finally sets a good lap and puts himself up to P6. That's qualifying over with Flov on pole position for the first time since Austria, I think. Comic puts himself on the front row. I knew he was going to have a great start. I've predicted pole for him. It's not quite pole, but it's right in the ballpark. Front row for Comic. this is your final qualifying order. Flov, Comic, Bert, Emu, Barbado, Quantai, Tiger, Lucky, Robot, Lebob, Drab, Rice, and K5. I shouldn't have said Drab, it's Ribe. K5, unable to set a lap. I think he's in the session now, though. So I think he will be good. Lithuanian 1-2. That's what it is. It's Flov and Comic are both from Lithuania, and they're both from McLaren. It's a 1-2 on both fronts. Okay. Quantai complaining that it's quite a bit slower than his time trial lap. Thing about time trial, it's not representative of the conditions you get in the Grand Prix. Now, don't ready up on the grid, guys. You need to take a break, you know. Get your setups sorted. The Qatar Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. Flov seems to have gotten a good start up against Comic. We can get a closer look from Comic's onboard. He's coming alongside Flov, going into the first corner. Comic now has the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. The two McLarens are still side by side. The two Lithuanian drivers exchanging places on turn 1 and turn 2. But it's Flov still in the lead ahead of Comic. And behind him, Bert has maintained his P3 position. Yeah, someone readied up, unfortunately. That's just how things go, and I don't think I could see it on the stream. I'll check back. Maybe I did. But I was gone for about 30 seconds while we were meant to be on the grid break. Let's get the data open now. And K5 has had a fantastic start behind him. Oh no! And just as I say that, our commentator cursed him for free. He's made contact with Lucky Lemon and loses all his progress. U3, Lebob, having a terrible start, down 3 places, and a long way back from the rest of the field. Does he have damage? We're going to check his front wing from this angle. I don't see anything, because there's no cars here. Very strange to pop out possible race strategies while we're in the Grand Prix, and the two Aston Martins are swapping places because Robot's got no front wing. Robot will be into the pits at the end of this lap, as will Rise, and Flov continues to lead. Comic now going around the outside of Flov. They're still going for it, just like they did on lap 1, and Comic has to sit behind Flov for a second lap running. Who do you want to commentate a curse, KJ? Or you want like a random selection? Currently nothing going on except 3 drivers having to come into the pits at the end of lap 1 to repair. Their Grand Prix is definitely not over. There's still safety cars to come, and you'd be surprised in the lower divisions of how much pace advantage you can get over the other drivers by just learning the track as you drive it. Comic's following Flov very closely. Seems like Flov's pace is not assured at all. Was going to be K5, but you did it for free. Random selection now, and I would say look at Flov. doing absolutely brilliantly. He is going to completely dominate this Grand Prix, not lose the lead, and he absolutely 100% will not spin and bottle it. And that's my Flov commentator curse done. Comic won't have DRS for this straight, but he will have a nice slipstream and battery. He's using a lot of his ERS trying to take the lead early on. Flov's going defensive with his battery at the moment. Flov covers the inside line. Comic's at the fastest lap, following him, and Comic goes for it down the inside, but Flov cuts him off, stays ahead, and once again the two McLarens are in the same order they started the lap with. NSO Burt behind, falling out of DRS already. He's struggling in this race, uncharacteristic of the championship leader. Let's check the tyres, because we did not do that earlier on. It's a range of mediums and hards. No one's risking it on the softs, and good decisions from these drivers, because softs are terrible around this track. These tyre wear very, very high, as F. Jarrell Tom, if he's watching, he would definitely know about Qatar tyre wear and the risk of left front punctures, especially while you're on the podium. And so Bert's closed up to Comic. Comic's had a major error somewhere, and now he's got two cars queuing up behind him for a pass. Lining up for the pass, Bert going down the inside. Comic just about holds on, but Comic's having to go defensive into very, very weird places. Both championship contenders having a howler, says KJ. As NSO Burt goes wide, picks up a time penalty already. We're only 3 laps in, and he has already got himself a time penalty. And Flov has actually done the reverse commentator curse. He's done the commentator praise, because I said he was going to dominate and not get overtaken, and he's doing exactly that at the moment, thanks to Comic's mistake. NSO Bert's now going around the outside of Emu. Emu's gonna try hold on to this place, staying to the right side of the tracks, getting ahead of Bert. Emu's now up into the podium places, and he's got those hard tyres on, which means he'll be better on the medium stint. Bert's really struggling for grip right now, and Barbado is now right behind him, lining up for the pass. Tiger's going down the inside as well in a very brave attempt that's not successful for him. Quantai's following, and Quantai is very nearly into the back of these guys. Oh, what's he doing? And Quantai nearly spins himself, and Tiger. What was he doing there with such a dumb move? Quantai still in P7, having tried an absolute howler of a move. I don't know what type of online lobbies he's been doing, but what the hell was that? Let's go ahead to Bert, who's once again running wide at the penultimate corner. He could be our penalty record setter for this race, picking up like 12 seconds of time penalties. Emu's fallen out of the clutches of Comic, and Comic's now starting to close back up to Flov. So NSO Bert looking good to close back up to Emu, make the pass again. This time Quantai gets through on Tiger without making a dumb move. Do you think they remembered to put loads of fuel in, says KJ. I think Bert remembered. Maybe that's why he's so slow. Actually, I can check their steering wheels. Actually, there's no cockpit cam. So, if I turn telemetry off, I think you can vaguely see it on the steering wheel. Top right of the steering wheel, it's in grey. And if you look, you have to look really closely, but Bert's on 2.3 laps extra. Emu is 3.5 laps extra. Comic's gonna run out. He's only on 1.4 extra. Flov is on 2.43 extra. Barbado, 2.6. He'll be tight on fuel. And that's the fuel load. You guys don't see it, but Quantai is playing chess. I feel like he should focus on the driving, to be honest. And chess is a good sport/board game, but, you know, what move has he played now? That sacrifice your queen for nothing? Because that's all I saw based on his move, trying to sacrifice his car. And he sacrifices the wing! That's my terrible Levy impression. As Tiger gets down the inside, of Quantai, and his chess moves are consistently failing him as he's now losing another place to Tiger, falling down the order to P7. Tiger's got the inside line, and Tiger makes the pass up into 6th place. Quantai's going back down the inside, and he spins around Tiger again. Quantai is on a death mission, it seems. Or was it Drive before? Can't remember, but there's definitely drivers out here for absolute blood. Best driver to watch is HDR Emu. And as a fun fact for no reason, I can't put my controller on the table because then it vibrates super loud. Every time a driver rides the curves, I feel it. I'm quite literally got the same feeling of grip as they do. Emu's following closely. Comic's even closer to Flav. It's only a gap of 4/10 and he's used up all his battery to close up to him. He's got the DRS now. Can he make it worth it? Can he make it stick? Can he get past Flav? He's trying a move around the outside for the leader of the race. It's his 3rd time lucky for Comic. Has he done it this time? He's almost done it, but Flav comes fighting back at him, and Comic stays ahead. Flav gets forced off a little bit, and Comic is into the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. However, if Flav can follow closely, then he'll be in prime position to strike back, take the lead again. What's there to watch now? You can watch Flav, how he follows Comic through the dirty air of the car in front. Flav's following very, very closely to Comic, even closer than what Comic was able to follow towards Flav. Bert got another penalty. Let's check penalties now on that topic. Big Bert G really racking up the time penalties at this stage of the race. 6 seconds he's on. Lucky Lemon's matching him for penalty pace, it seems. Flav's going for it down the inside on Comic, and Flav takes the lead for a moment, but Comic's not going to give this one up around the outside, and Flav gets his nose in front, gets his whole car in front, and retakes the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. Swapping laps after laps, it seems. Hey, Diamond's finally on comms, says Davito. And it seems the very moment I do it, less viewers. No one wants to watch me commentate, it seems. Emu gets, like, way more views. So does KJ. They just are too good at this. Okay, fine, I'll hydrate. And I'll do it very loudly as evidence. I've hydrated, thank you. Why do they give the side cam? Very weird shot they give you in the broadcast cams. It's now Comic's turn to strike against Flav. They're going for it lap by lap. Seems like they're stuck with each other, unable to get away. It is better in real life how they do it. Yeah, for real. Comic's got DRS now. He's followed Flav closely around the lap. I think it's going to come down to pit strategy with who wins this race at this point. Comic's now going to the outside line. Flav has no defense, and Comic takes the lead again of the Qatar Grand Prix. Bombastic side cab, says KJ. Oh, that's a new one. Emu's out of the race. I didn't even curse him, and he's out. Emu's crashed. Oh, big drama for the championship. Emu is out. Ah, you saw Emu's stricken car on the right, and that's his race over for Emu. And Ferrari will be scoring nothing from this race. Absolute tragedy for Ferrari, just like real life. Lucky Lemon is past Robot Reaction. Aston Martin switch places again. Robot's now closing up to him, even though he had to box for a new front wing. I think Lucky Lemon may have had to box at some point. KJ wanted to enjoy the Emu drive, but he couldn't. And now Emu is out. Big sadness for KJ. We can go back to the lead of the race. Flov around the outside of Comic once more. How they're doing this, multiple laps running without contact, it's beautiful. Oh, as I say that, Comic's had a spin, or he's made contact with Flov, and now slips down the order. The instantaneous commentator curse at my disposal, it seems. Instantaneous, that one. And if he has front wing damage, he doesn't appear to, but you never know with this game. He might have some minor damage on the right hand side, I'm guessing. And also Bert's now battling for P2 with Barbado. Flov has got the dominant gap now. I thought it would come down to pit strategy. It's just come down to whoever can avoid spinning. And also Bert's looking close. 6/10 is the gap between the Mercedes of Bert and the Red Bull of Barbado. Barbado's had a solid championship so far, made it to every race. Same has Bert, except Bert's leading the championship, and he's trying to maintain position to try get that first HDR crown. Rice gets a time penalty. Quantai is into the pit lane for pretty early stop, and Bert won't be close enough for the move on Barbado this lap. He's either running boatloads of downforce or he is not using battery, as Comic gets past Tiger up into P4 on his road to recovery to catch up to Flov. Check the amount of penalties. Tiger is P5, and he looks like he's got the jump to get back at Comic, it seems. Robot Reaction is now past Rice, and Lucky Lemon could be getting past him as well. We're getting lots of overtaking and battles around the Qatar circuit. What's happening now? Rice is going very wide, very wide. He looks like he's speedrunning time penalties by that. Very, very wide for him. Just about survives it though. Oh, bombastic side cam. It's the KJ special. Bombastic side cam. KJ will enjoy this. We can check the pit strategy. See who's boxed, see who hasn't. Quantai hards to the end of the Grand Prix. Tiger will be strapping on a set of mediums to go bolt towards the end, as will Barbado, K5 and Lucky Lemon. And Lee Bob, though Lee Bob is having a sad time at the back of the field for this race. Ooh, but absolutely on the limit following Barbado. It seems that he's charging his battery behind him, because last I checked he had only 10%. Now he has 65. He's recovering battery very, very quickly. Surprisingly quickly, it seems. And so Bert is really, really closing. 7/10 now. He's lost a bit of time right as I say that. Eight-tenths. Could it be the mediums starting to fall off? Hello, Death Star. Bert is P3 at the moment. Barbado P2 still. He's following close, but just can't get through. It seems like he's just following and trying to stay within DRS range. He's not quite doing it though. Tiger66 Gamer is looking for a move back to Comic. I think this is the crossover between medium tires and hard tires, because Bert and Comic are both starting to fall off a little bit as Lucky Lemon is battling away with Schreibe. Schreibe now gets ahead of Lucky Lemon with the power of DRS. DRS assisted move into turn 1, powering him past the Aston Martin. Comic 3.3 to NSO, but now we might want to pit for the undercut this lap, because the undercut's very, very powerful around Qatar, and he could get out on a fresh set of hard tyres this lap. Let's see what he'll do. Flov is into the pit lane, the leader of the Grand Prix into the pits. Let's see, can he get this pit lane good? And he has done it. He's conservative in, understandably. It's the McLaren double stack, and Comics followed my advice. He's going for the undercut on NSO Burt. Will Comic be held up by the double stack? He has a little bit. That's slow for him. It's slow, and that will hurt Comic. It has to be a stonking out lap now. Luckily, they'll get out in clean air with only Quantai coming down the main straight. It's going to be close between Comic and Quantai. This is really important for his race. Quantai sets the fastest lap and stays ahead of Comic. Quantai's got the undercut on Comic. Powerful undercut being shown right there. He went from the mid-pack to now ahead of Comic, who was leading at one point. Fresh set of hard tyres though, and 3 laps around this track's a big difference. Comic screwed over a little bit by the double stack. NSO Burt still keeping up with Barbado. Now he has to respond this lap, otherwise he'll get undercut. He can't extend this any further, because trying for the medium soft is begging for punctures unless you're really good at managing the tyres. Is Burt coming in this lap? Yes, he is. He's covering off the undercut from Comic now. Tiger gets a time penalty for multiple warnings. Steady into the pit lane he goes. Can he take the entry a little bit faster? Yes, he can. And it's a Mercedes double stack now. Teams are enjoying the double stacks now, and this could screw over Tiger. And he has been screwed. Oh, he's losing bucket loads of time. He's going on to the mediums very early as well. And that's 2 teams now that have double stacked. The second driver needing to watch out a little bit better for that. It's going to be potentially close between Burt and Comic. Though the double stack may have screwed Comic over, he sets a purple sector 3. And he is not ahead. He only gained 7 tenths with the undercut, so it's not very powerful. He's losing loads of time, says the only L star. You are very, very L, Death Star. Very L. Just like the viewership on this stream. Every other stream does well. As soon as I hop on, everyone leaves. Sad times. Actually, people don't even join when they see me. We didn't even reach a good peak viewers, let alone current. Quantai is 4 laps older hard tyres now. He'll be vulnerable to Comic. He got the undercut to Comic and almost got it to Burt though. Could Burt get stuck with Quantai in a DRS pass and repass system? That's been happening for a couple drivers. Now we have Barbado taking the lead and extending the stint as Comic gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. In his pursuit of Quantai, he's got a penalty now. Flov setting the fastest lap. He is streaking away. K5 is the final hope for any of the others, as Quantai now going wheel to wheel with Burt. Burt goes around the outside and just about holds on to the position. Lee Bob getting a 3-second time penalty for track limits infringements. Lucky Lemon being passed by Schreiber for the second lap running. Tiger's on the fresh mediums now. Let's see how much he closes up to Comic though. I think he's went on the medium tyres very, very early. They might reach puncture radius towards the end, but might catch Flov at the end. It's a tall order for him. Barbados extending the stint now for the chance to catch Flov at the end, but it would require a fantastic 12 laps now, because he'll lose 25 seconds when he boxes, and then closing up 10 seconds in like 12 laps is a big ask. Barbados should have come in this lap, I think, as Rice gets a corner cut penalty and he's out. Rice has binned it. Out of the race now. He was running in last anyway. We can check it from the POV of Barbados. If it's not laggy as hell, it is laggy as hell. Yep. You can see him there in the gravel, retired, out, down and out of this race. He's actually extending the gap to Flov somehow. I think he just gained on Flov and K5 did Barbados. Now he's extending to 17.1. What's going on there? Flov's still extending out to Bert, so field spread really widening. And Tiger is not gaining on Quantai at all. He cannot make inroads. He's lost 7/10 since I last checked up on him on those fresh medium tyres. Not giving him the time he needs. Is Barbados in this lap? No, he's not. I think is he sticking out for a safety car? Because if he is, there are no safety cars while they're bugged. Div 1 looks stacked this weekend. Or stracked, as the only L-Star likes to put it. It does. It does. K5, he has not done the wall riding strat which he did beforehand in practice. So he is entering the pit lane normally. He'll come out probably ahead of Schreiber. He'll be a long way behind the 4-car battle for P2. Stroker or Flov, whatever you want to call him, in the net lead of the race. And now the gap's down to 14 seconds. And Barbados really has to think about pitting now. How good is Tom, Death Star? Why don't you ask me, KJ? I literally know Tom! Anyway, Tom is very good. He'll be up there with you fighting for a win for sure. The only L-Star. You're an alien now. You're not allowed to say that. Legally speaking, you can't be saying that anymore. I'm allowed because I'm not an alien, but you are. So is KJ, so is Tom. You don't get to call yourself trash when you reach alien esports status. It's a McLaren 1-2 once more, with Burt following Comic to try take the P2 off the second McLaren. You are alien, Death Star. Have you seen your time trials? Maybe you're just a time trial sweat, but you're really good. And Barbados puts on the soft tyres for a bold dash to the end of the race. I think he'll be aiming to maybe catch... he'll catch NSO Burt for sure. I think he should... No, he'll catch Tiger. He'll actually come out ahead of Tiger, I think. Will he? He'll catch Tiger and Quantai for sure. He'll get ahead of them too. 2 Red Bulls into the first corner, and Quantai is ahead of Barbados. Softs can make it, but it's a tight fit. They'll probably go 65% tyre wear by the end of it. And will there be any form of team orders for the 2 Red Bull drivers? 17th in the world on Xbox Death Star, that's alien. Ooh, he's got a point there. He's got a point there. And Quantai is in no mood to help out his teammate. Absolutely no mood. Being a pretty pathetic teammate, truth be told. Maybe he's not helping him at all. He's holding him off as much as he can. I think they're not official teammates though, and he's just a trialist at the moment. Barbado is losing copious time behind him, absolutely destroying his charge back through, and he'll catch Quantai for sure. Because he's right in front of him. NSO, Bert, and Comic. P2 is on the cards for Barbado. He needs to find a way past. He's getting real frustrated behind him, as KJ is still trying to help me accuse Deathstar of being an alien, even though KJ himself is an alien. Takes one to no one, I guess, as it's two cars getting past the Red Bull of Quantai. Barbado and Tiger slipping through past the Red Bull. His undercut is now hurting him because he is on 9-lap old hards. He boxed too early. You'd be so mad if you was behind Quantai right now, says Deathstar. KJ's getting frustrated at ads. Buy subscription or win back the prize money that's going to come from said ads. Skill issue, your fault. NSO Burt can't make any inroads on Comic. Is he just running a barn door rear wing and he can't catch on the straights? KJ does not care about the newest Google Pixel. They're having a very random conversation at this point in the chat, so I'll let them go at it. Well, Barbado is gaining rapidly on Burt on those fresh soft tyres. He lost a lot of time behind Quantai, probably at least around half a second. And now, if you go on his onboard, you can clearly see them in front. He sees his prey up in front. Now it's driver skill to carry him towards P2. He's got the tyres for it. He's got the machine for it. Will he have the skill? And so Bert's still stuck behind Comic. Comic's been holding him off really, really well throughout the entire race. Robot Reaction getting a time penalty. This is the penalty weather update. And Barbado jumped both of them automatically by no time penalties. Glob's got the win covered, Comic's got P2 covered, actually he's got P3. So podium's looking like Glov, Barbado, Comic at the moment. Lucky Lemon setting a fastest lap a long way behind. NSO back. Still behind. He's found the second this lap. 1 second he's gained on them. It's diminishing returns as he gets a time penalty. And now his attempts will be futile. And now he has to pass them on the track. He had it all sorted out. But now the plot has shifted. And Comic is now... Oh, that was terrible language. Primary school this vocabulary, that. Comic's in P2. And Barbado's got P3 for the moment, unless he gets any more penalties. Tiger's on course to lose 1-2 places, as Quantai sends it into the first corner, not sendy enough. Aston Martin drivers have been well close the whole race. Deathstar saying, I'm not alien until I can do a race in alien mode. I can do races in alien mode now. I had a Zandvoort League race where I went from P20 to P3, having pitted at the end of lap 1 and no safety cars to help me out. Lucky Lemon is past Robot Reaction as they trade places again in this race. Every time I go to the Astons, one of them's overtaking the other. They just can't get away from each other. They seem inseparable at this point, just like Comic and Bert. I mean, P20 to P3 when it rained mid-race and then dried again with no safety cars to help me out. In a league that's fairly competitive, probably like HDR Div 1.5, maybe. Lucky Lemon let Robot pass for the championship. He said that. And that's definitely not true now. Quantai is finally getting past Tiger 66 Gamer. Despite being on the older hard tyres, the mediums of Tiger seem to fall off real fast. And Barbado, on his fresh softs, he is now about to enter the sacred DRS range of Bert. Bert can't get past Comic, so he might be stuck in a train till the end of the race. Not sure what Bert's trying at this point, but it's certainly not an overtake as he's just barely keeping up with Comic. Flav has put in a faultless drive so far. I really hope these guys have muted in-game chat since the only L-star. Oh, I dearly hope so, otherwise they're going to be listening to my comms the entire race. I've got it muted by default, but if someone hasn't, then L for them. Maybe Bert forgot, and that's why he's not winning this race despite being the championship leader. And every time I talk, he loses time. Barbado, he's got it muted for sure, because he's now half a second away, and Bert's falling out of DRS range. Bert now has to think about defense instead of attack, and Barbado has to get his move done as fast as possible before the soft tyres die off. K5 is now trying to get past Tiger, and has he done it? Yes, he has. Tiger's pace is absolutely falling off towards the back end of the race. 6 laps to go as Robot repasses Lucky Lemon. Lucky Lemon's got a fresh set of softs now, and they're exchanging positions every lap. Lucky Lemon should be way faster than Robot. I don't know what's happening here, but unless Lucky Lemon's helping out Robot for the championship, which I doubt, he should be well ahead. Bert's doing all he can to stay within DRS at this point. Oh, that's a big development. Comic's low on fuel. You can see it. Comic's below. You can see the yellow sign, and I can take a closer look on his steering wheel. He's minus 0.1 on fuel at the moment. Comic could be in a whole load of trouble. Flav is perfectly fine with fuel. I can check. Bert is over-fueled like crazy. What's happened between them? The gap's just suddenly opened. I missed something there. Barbado just lost a whole heap of time. There might be an incident because Bert's also dropped off. Not sure what's going on there. Oh, KJ saying Barbado spun. I missed that. Unlucky for Barbado, and his charge comes to an end as K5 puts himself up to P5 now, and he can chase down Barbado if his tyres have fell off. They might have. Softs do not last at all around Qatar. It could be the case. We are going to find out over the next few laps. One thing going for Tiger is he's got a free stop to go for the fastest lap. He's got 35 seconds to Lucky Lemon to fastest lap it if he wants to. Comic though, he's in so much trouble with fuel. He has to lift and coast so much. Barbado's overfueled as well. What is happening with him? With K5? Let's get the telemetry out of the way, and K5 is pretty much bang on with fuel. He's plus 0.4, which is perfect to the end of the race. Quantai is slightly over, but he's also pretty close to bang on. Tiger is one to run out of fuel at the end of the race. Tiger Gaming, he's close on fuel. Lucky Lemon is also very close on fuel at the moment. He has to do some lifting coast to avoid the negative. Robot Reaction is in trouble with fuel. We've got late drama scheduled for this race. Driver's overfueled. He'll be fine. As is Leebob. Leebob's also overfueled. He'll be fine. Look forward to seeing how Comic copes with this fuel predicament. Are you gonna clip the diamonds, Cough? Actually, no. But it was a bombastic cough. Flob's fuel is perfectly fine. He's plus 0.6. He's a little bit over, truth be told. Thank you, Death Star, for not being more of an L. Well, I can hear some horrible engine sounds from the stream. Engine noises up. That's it. Don't feel like being 80 Ratchet Age for today. Don't worry, you'll always be 80 Ratchet Age. Three laps to go of this race, and K5 is coming at Barbado. As I predicted, he's coming closer, closer and closer. He goes for the outside line. Barbado did not see that coming. He thought he'd go down the inside. K5 went for the switch to the outside, gets the racing line for turn 1 and takes 4th place. But with all his time penalties, has the chase on for the podium. We can check penalties, and K5 is within 6 seconds. It could be a K5 podium from the back of the grid. This will be a great drive if he can pull it off in these final couple of laps. With Comic in trouble over fuel, and I'll check. He's in even more trouble. He's minus 0.34 according to this screen. If he's really that low, then he's not making it to the end. He could potentially fall behind Bert, K5 and Barbado. This could be big trouble for Comic. Clovis can essentially stretch his legs now, metaphorically speaking. He is well clear in the lead, absolutely dominating. Barbado can't keep up with K5, and Quanto now, by penalties, looks set to take that away from him. Lucky Lemon, if you're listening in... No wait, he's not the one with the free stop. Tiger Gaming was, and he hasn't taken it. He hasn't taken the chance to get an extra point for the fastest lap of the race, and now he won't get it. Let's check what the fastest lap is. Lucky Lemon has it, so he could have stopped to take it off Lucky Lemon, but he hasn't done that. He hasn't taken the chance. Not sure why. Felt like a really good opportunity wasted there. Barbado's driving for his life, trying to keep the gap above Quantai to 3 seconds. It's not looking like he's going to achieve it at the moment. Clovis now. That's just the controller vibration if you heard it. Very loud against the table. Emu has described himself in chat as like Charles Leclerc. Good quality, bad race. He is also stating that he needs therapy for choosing Ferrari. I would agree with both. Is Comic gonna run out? I think the red fuel bar tells you everything you need to know. It says he's critical, but for all I know the game could be wrong. The game says he's 0.46. It's either positive or negative, we'll find out. Oh, it's happened! He's run out of fuel! With half a lap to go, Comic has ran out of fuel, and that now gifts P2 to Bert. K5 now has got the podium secured, even despite any potential mistakes, because he lost a lot of time somehow, and Comic is falling down the order. He didn't bother to fuel save, he did not check his fuel at all, and everyone is ghosting through him. He is dropping like a stone. It's Comic. Fluv comes across the line and wins the Qatar Grand Prix to take his first win of HDR. Comic, he could have gotten P2, but he's going to end up P6. Bert takes P2. Great result, and he gets jumped by K5. who from the back of the grid has now closed the gap in the championship. 2 championship rivals on the podium. Quantai with a P4 on his debut. Great stuff from him. Fabado P5. Comic with a tragic fuel run out. Has binned it post-race. If the game puts him as DNF, nope, it hasn't. Tiger takes P7. Lucky Lemon with P8 finish around the final corner. Tribe takes P8 on debut. Lucky and Robot with bad races. Lee Bob with bad race as well, with 2 DNF cars, one of them being Elo. You know what? Let's try interviews, you know. Three unique drivers on the podium. Now we need to move. Hello Flav, welcome to the comms booth. Congratulations on pole position and a race victory. How did that go for you?
Bad at the end. The tire were pretty very bad here. It was a pretty stressful race at the end. It was no grip.
Looked tough on tyre wear from what I saw. Luckily you made it to the end, won the race by almost 13 seconds, and seems like you had the fuel situation just about under control. Unlike your teammate Comic, who ran out of fuel with half a lap to go and dropped like 3 places.
Yeah, I had to take 3 laps extra fuel and it was just barely enough.
Yeah, Qatar's crazy fuel burn.
Yeah.
Next race is in Austin, Texas. How's that track looking for you?
It's probably one of my weaker tracks, I'd say.
Okay. Best of luck for that. Good chat.
Yeah. Yeah, goodbye.
Bye. I can't. There we go. That was awkward. That was awkward. I'm not a good interviewer. Lord Sean Dyche is very happy with the battle, i.e. Comic. No one to raid at the moment, so I'll sign off now. Goodbye. Ah, Comic.